Hello guys, welcome to my channel. So today we are doing a class 10th poem, The Tale of Custard the Dragon. So this poem basically narrates us a beautiful story. That's why it's written in a form of a ballad. Now with this, let's start the poem. Belinda lived in a little white house with a little black kitten and a little grey mouse and a little yellow dog and a little red wagon and a really truly little pet dragon. So basically, first para narrates us that Belinda was a little girl and she used to live in a little white house with her four pets: kitten, mouse, dog, and a dragon. And she had a red wagon. Wagon is basically a four-wheeled vehicle. Now let's move on to the second para. Now in the second para, they have given us the names of all the animals Belinda had. Black kitten was named as Ink, grey mouse was named as Blink, yellow dog was named as Mustard, and the dragon was named as a Custard. And dragon was basically described as a coward. That means he was not brave and he was not courageous. Now, let's move on to the third para. Custard the dragon had big sharp teeth and spikes on top of him and scales underneath. So, in this para, we have given the description of the dragon. Dragon had big sharp teeth, he had big teeth and spikes on the top of his body. That means he had a pointed surface and scales under his body that like fishes have to protect their skin. Same way, dragons have scales under their body. Mouth like a fireplace, and his mouth is described as a fireplace because it is believed that dragons have mouth like a fireplace because it is believed that dragons release fire from their mouth. And chimney for a nose, like dragons pass out smokes from their nostrils. And really or truly daggers on his toes. And daggers is a kind of pointed sharp knife. So his toes were as sharp, as pointed as a knife. Now let's move on to the next para. Belinda was as brave as a barrel full of pears. Now Belinda was compared as a barrel full of pears, describing us that she was very brave, very courageous. And Ink and Blink chased Lion down the stairs. And Ink and Blink were so brave that they could even chase the lions. They could even run behind the lions. Mustard was as brave as a tiger in a rage. Mustard was so brave. Like we have seen the angry tiger. So Mustard was as brave as an angry tiger. But Custard cried for a nice safe cage. But Custard just wanted a nice safe cage where he could sleep peacefully, where he could rest peacefully. He just wanted a safe place for him. Now let's move on to the next para. Belinda tickled him. She tickled him unmercifully. Belinda used to touch the Custard to make him laugh, and she tickled him unmercifully means cruelly. She was very harsh on him. Ink, Blink and Mustard, they rudely called him Percival, and other three pets, rudely called him Percival. That means they rudely called him an illiterate person, like who doesn't have an attractive appearance like dragons have. And they all sat laughing in a little red wagon at a really or truly cowardly dragon. They all sat in a wagon and they were all making fun of a coward dragon. Belinda giggled till she shook the house, and Blink said weak, which is giggling for a mouse. Ink and Mustard rudely asked his age when Custard cried for a nice safe cage. Now Belinda laughed out loud. She laughed in a silly way, like she shook the whole house in order to make fun of him. And Blink said weak, which is a sound of a mouse. Ink and Mustard rudely asked his age. But Custard, he just cried he just wanted a safe place for him. So, like, this para tells us how they have their own ways of making fun of dragon. Either they ask his age or they like laugh out loud on him. They all have their own way. Moving on to the next para. Suddenly, they heard a nasty sound, and Mustard growled, and they all looked around. Mouch! Cried Ink, and oh! Cried Belinda, for there was a pirate climbing in the window. Now, suddenly, what happened? They heard a big, bad sound, and Mustard showed a little bit anger, and they all looked around like, what happened? What happened? Ink also shouted out, Mouch! Belinda said, oh! And then they all saw that there was a pirate climbing in the window. Now, what is a pirate? A pirate is like a person who attacks who attacks ships to steal. So, like, there was a robber climbing in the window. Now, in the next para, the description of the robber, the description of the pirate is given to us. Pistol in his left hand, pistol in his right, and he held in his teeth a cutlass bright. Like, in his one hand, there was a pistol, in his other hand, there was a pistol, and he held in his teeth a cutlass bright. Cutlass means a sword with a curved blade. So, he was carrying a short sword in his teeth. His beard was black and one leg was wooded. He had a black beard and wooded leg, and it was clear that the pirate meant no good. And seeing the pirate, anyone could say that he had no good intention. He just came there to steal, to do robbery. Now, coming to the next para, Belinda paled and she cried, help, help. Now, Belinda paled, like her skin color turned light out of fear, and she just cried out loudly, help, help. Mustard also ran away after giving a terrifying yelp, means terrifying cry for help. And Ink trickled down to the bottom of the household. Ink slowly went down to the bottom of the household to hide himself because Ink was also scared. And Little Mouse Blink strategically mouse hole. Blink also went into a small opening to hide himself. So see, all the animals, they just find it out a way. They just find out a way to hit them. No one came out to fight with the pirate. Okay. Now coming to the next para. But up jumped Custard, snorting like an engine. But there came the Custard as a brave and courageous animal. Snorting like an engine means he was snorting smoke from his nose like an engine, clashed his tails like iron in a dungeon. Like, since the dragons are so huge, so when he stood up, he just moved his tail and clashed things here and there. With a clatter and a clank and a jangling squirm, he made a heavy, heavy sound, and he just went at the pirate like a robin at a worm. He just attacked a pirate like Robin attacks worms. Now, moving on to the next para, the pirate gaped at Belinda's dragon and gulped some grog from his pocket flagon. Now, when the pirate saw the Belinda's dragon approaching towards him, he just drank some alcohol from his container kept in his pocket in order to gain some energy. And then he fired 2 bullets, but they didn't hit. But they missed the dragon, they didn't hit the dragon, and Custard gobbled him every bit, and Custard completely ate the pirate. Moving on to the next para, Belinda embraced him, Mustard licked him. Now Belinda just hugged him, Mustard also licked him. No one mourned for the pirate victim. Now no one was sad for the pirate being no more. Everyone was happy that how bravely Custard faced the pirate, fought with him. Ink and Blink in glee did gyrate. Ink and Blink were also very happy, so they just surrounded the pirate and were roaming around him out of happiness. So, like, everyone showed gratitude towards Dragon. But presently, up smoke little dog Mustard, I would have been as twice as brave and as I had been flustered. Now they were all very excited and were showing gratitude towards Dragon, but quickly they changed their mind. Quickly, Mustard said, I would have been more brave than Dragon. It's just that I got flustered. If I wouldn't have been flustered, I would have been more courageous. Then Ink and Blink also quickly spoke up that we would have been 3 times braver than Dragon. And then Custard finally agreed, okay, you all are braver than me. You all are very, very courageous. I know. Now, coming to the next para. Now we see the next 2 paras are again given. They are repeated by the poet Ogden Nash. Ogden Nash has repeated these 2 paras in order to show that these animals still consider them more brave, despite the fact that how bravely Custard fought with the pirate. These animals still consider them more brave, more courageous than Dragon, and they still think that they could have handled the situation in a much better way if they wouldn't have got confused then Dragon had managed it. Okay, so let's just read the para. Belinda still lives in a little white house with a little black kitten and a little grey mouse and a little yellow dog and a little red wagon and a really truly little pet dragon. Belinda is as brave as a barrel full of beers, and Ink and Blink chase Lion down the stairs. Mustard is as brave as Tiger in a rage, but Custard keeps crying for a nice safe cage. So who all are portrayed as very brave characters were not there in the time of difficulty, and who is being portrayed as a coward was there in the actual time, at the time of difficulty. So this was beautiful ballad, beautiful poem by Ogden Nash, and this poem is over. If you like the video, please subscribe it, like, share and comment to get more videos. Thank you.